Everybody, welcome to Lunch with Linda. I'm Linda Daniels and you are now inside Northampton Wools. We're going to do something a little bit different today. Have you ever went into your needle storage looking for, let's say a size 16-inch, size 7 needle, and the next thing you know, you're completely overhauling your entire yarn stash?
Yes.
Well, that's what kind of happened here to me. Kate and I had talked about a rearranging. I've been telling you that we are changing things around, getting ready for the fall shipments. And on Thursday, this past Thursday, I started to execute that plan by cleaning up over in the coffee and water area. And before you know it, I was moving furniture all around. So now I want to give you a little quick preview of what you're going to see when you come into the shop. When you first enter the door, there's only one, you are greeted by the absolutely amazing project bags by Emma Ball. These are all the drawstring bags and they're right here on your left. Our entire inventory is right there. We then moved both of the bookcases that used to be here. They're actually from IKEA. I moved the table to the center of the room and the two bookcases right over here. This side has all the books right next to the magazine rack, and I put the little stool right in between them. And all day Saturday, I was so happy to see people perch here. Gives you a beautiful view of the books that you can then pull out.
Oh, it's like a little
and
library.
Look at. It's like a little book nook. You have easy access to all of the magazines. Yeah. We got the most current Lane magazine in this week as well. And I've even seen a couple of men park themselves here so that they're out of the way. I love it. I love it when it works and it feels so good.
Yay.
By doing just
Everyone
those two
says it
simple
looks great.
furniture moves, we really opened up the entire area. On the other side, there's still the yarn. Right now what you see are still a lot of baskets on the floor. You know, all of those baskets will be out front on, those are usually our sale items, so it will give us a lot of free space. The top of these makes a really convenient marketing space, and we're gonna try to keep the most current, the things we think you'll love, the brand new items here. For now, we've kind of got some of the stuff we've had, but as we get new items in, it might be a feature of the brand new hat pattern. It could be a new cup or something else that you absolutely have to have.
Or it could be like this knitting Mona Lisa.
Yeah, or it could be the knitting Mona Lisa. We then cleaned off and moved stuff around in front of what's called the cash wrap so that it gives us a little more open space. We've featured the two new books from Lane. The Kalevala is now in and from the LOIS. This is patterns from a Space Tricot in Canada. And then we have a great display now for all of the mini skeins, featuring especially the mini skeins that we got from Periwinkle Sheep. We're gonna fine tune some of this stuff, but that's what they're going to be. So you get a great shot of those right as you come in. The baskets are gonna constantly be changing, featuring all of the fun little stuff that we get in. And then the cash wrap, which now is nice and open. We can really see you. We have the fox and pine and a lot of buttons right here, but we have a good bird's eye view of what people are looking at. And of course, we are already looking forward to our next order of the Van Goat soap from Van Goat Farms, the goat farm.
Oh my gosh, just a side note, their Instagram stories are adorable.
Aren't they cute?
So many goats.
Yeah, if you want to follow her, it's Van Goat on Instagram. Do tell me if we get any comments.
Oh, everyone's saying hello. The stores looks amazing. Hearts.
We got several big orders in. Too much to show you everything new today because there's a bunch of stuff I want to talk about. But what I did want to point out was that over here, we now have every color of unique fingering that they have available.
Every single
Single color, and we go in order of the lowest number to the highest number. So if you're looking for a particular color, I mean, we have so many that we had to start a second line down here. Some of you have already made this dress. This is the Alyssa dress. The smallest size takes just one skein of the unique sock, and that is right above the new Tough Love sock right there. And then down below it is the Harvest solid colors in the fingering weight. So we've got a full supply of unique on that wall alone. Then look, look. We have not had a full inventory of embroidery floss for quite a long time. But these companies, Circulo is a new company to us. Next week I'll be showing you some of the yarn that they sent. But Kate spent a lot of time on Friday putting this thing together and getting all of those colors in there. So we have 149 colors now of embroidery floss. If you embroider with it, if you make friendship bracelets, if you have children or grandchildren that do, we are ready to serve you with that.
Embroidery on Knits book.
And we have the embroidery on Knits book too.
Rosemary says, organization takes time and energy, but it looks more spacious.
It's so much more spacious. It feels really good. I'm so happy about the results that I am bragging about it to everybody. So you're gonna see a lot more changes like that as we move yarn around and get ready for the inventory to come in for fall, so that you have something wonderful, fun, and unique to knit this fall. Kate and I are going to change places now so that I can sit down and actually show you some other stuff.
All right.
And she's going to stay there so that she can see comments this week.
Sorry about the shakiness. I'm putting the tripod
There
down.
we go. All right. So that's it. So when you come in, it's going to feel different. I hope you like it. It really looks really spacious, and it's really easy to shop in now. It only took 13 years to figure it all out, but we actually are celebrating our 13th anniversary here this week. The shop is much older than that. You know, we first started in 1981, but we've been in this space now for 13 years. So a lot of you noticed and commented on the earrings that both Kate and I have been wearing in our Instagram posts, and I wanted to tell you about them. These we are getting from Bryson Distributing, and they are hand-dyed silk made into a little skein yarn. Shall I close up?
No, I got you.
Okay.
Stay sitting.
And they are a natural and then a color on the bottom, and they come in different colors. The problem is we don't get to pick. We get an assortment, so I order them by the 6s, and this time I ordered 6, and they're sterling silver. What is this called?
Hardware?
Metal hardware, I guess. Yeah,
It's silver.
it's sterling silver
Silver.
thing that goes in your ear. But they also come with one of those great little rubber like holders, so they don't fall out
I like the rubber ones.
of your ear because of the hook size and the weight of the skein. That's not that it's heavy, but it's all in the front. So, like I said, we order them in units of 6, and we have no idea what color we're getting. So we got purple.
So pretty.
And red.
Nice.
Blue, that's a little spatter blue.
Ocean.
This is meant to be kind of a dark, not really black, but that kind of dark gray feel. Lilac color, and a yellow, if you're into yellow. Like I said, we don't get to the ones that Kate wears.
Wearing gold.
Yes. Gold.
I'm too excited.
Not yellow, it's gold.
It's yellow and gold.
It's both. So, like I said, we get 6 at a time, and we don't get to choose. So if you would like to take a closer look at them, we will have them hanging up in the shop, and hopefully you will be inspired to try one as well. So those are new with our little order needle order that came in. I also want to, last week I showed you the hood that I had made and talked about how tight the cast on edge was. Well, I took it apart. I took the cast on row out and I put the rough stitches back onto a smaller needle, and then I bound off with a really large needle so that it's a very stretchy edge. I also did it in a slightly different color so that everybody could really see it. Now when I put it on, just let me remove that. The hood does what it's supposed to do. If you remember last week, it was kind of all scrunched up.
Oh yeah.
But now it really lays flat the way it's supposed to. And remember, I said that what you really need to do is cast on with a much larger needle, at least something 2 to 3 sizes larger than the size 9 that the pattern is originally written for. I cannot tell you how nice this feels, just laying flat like that around my chest. I don't know if I can reach the back to make it that
It's
smooth.
already good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's laying nicely.
So I wanted you to see just what that one thing, what a difference that one change made. And Kate and I were talking about this, and it's one of those things where it may not be the easiest thing for you to do, and it may not be the first thing you even think you can do, but there's really nothing permanent about your knitting. Nothing. You can always change it. You can always fix it. It just means that you sacrifice a little bit. You have to say goodbye to the time that you spent doing it in the first place.
Yeah.
But if it means that you're actually going to end up with a piece that you love and can use, it's all worth it in the end. And the bottom line is always you can come in and I can help you figure out what needs to be done. When you have that thing that you can't get on over your head, maybe you bound off too tightly, that's a pretty simple fix. Sleeves are too tight, that's a little bit more involved, but everything can be fixed and made perfect. So don't be afraid to try it. This past weekend on Saturday, I had a Learn to Knit class, and it was a small class, but one of the women in the class had knit maybe 15 years ago and hadn't touched it again. She told me that she had suffered a brain injury in an accident and had been for the last 10 years slowly recovering from it, and remembered that she had knit before and that she really enjoyed it. So she wanted to come back for a refresher. So it took her a little bit, but she did recover a lot of that muscle memory and was able to knit and purl with relative ease, and I'm say relative. And she began to knit a row and purl a row, working the stocking net stitch for the fingerless mitt that we use in our Learn to Knit class. And it was wonderful to hear her say a couple of times how much she was enjoying it, how good it felt to be here, and how much fun she was having. After about 2 hours into the class, she looked at me and she said, I all of a sudden realized that just these simple 2 movements, the knit and the purl, are sending signals to my brain that are making me feel really calm and really clear, very focused. And she said, one of the things that I use to get there is drawing. I will just sketch a lot. She said, I'm so happy to find the same results with knitting because she actually has the most interesting job. She is it's called Trusted House Sitter is the name of the company that she works for, and she travels the world. She's going to be here for another 2 weeks, and then she's off to Africa to house sit for 3 weeks at a house in South Africa. It's amazing. And she said this knitting will be so portable, number one, easy to find knitting stores, no matter where she is, and something that she can do wherever she is. So it was really, really rewarding and also very interesting to see, because we always talk about the zen of knitting, but to actually see it happen with somebody was so very clearly and so very dramatically was really mind-boggling and, like I said, very rewarding. So it's happening to you even if you don't know it when you are sitting there and knitting.
So true. So
it really
true.
is. We got in a couple of things that I do want to show you this week. And one of them is a problem solver. I know, even if you don't admit it, that all of you have run into this problem where you have cast on and you have started knitting, and instead of knitting with the ball of yarn, you've knit with the tail. Come on, admit it. How many of you have had that happen? Even though, and of course, not even though, of course you don't realize it until you're well into the row and you have a bunch of stitches to rip back out so that you can go back and knit with the real ball of yarn. It happens all the time, more often than not to some of us. Even though you try to get your long tail cast on to come out perfectly so that you're only left with a small number of inches, inevitably there's going to be a time when you have a whole lot of yarn left. Well, Bryson Distributing again has come out with a problem solver, and they have these tiny little wood shapes. This one is a cat.
Oh my gosh.
This one is a sheep and an alpaca. They're so small, but they're called tail minders. And what you do is, once you have cast on all of your stitches and you're left with a long tail and you want to save it because maybe it's going to come in handy for sewing a side seam, or just you want to have enough to actually weave in, I'm going to wrap the tail between the legs of this little tail minder until I have wrapped the end short enough so that I know I won't pick it up. And then there's this tiny little slit. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little slit on the side where the yarn goes in, and that holds that tail out of your way. Now you will not inadvertently pick that up. You will not end up having to rip back on that first row because you've knit with the tail instead of the ball of yarn. These come in little packages of 3, not because 3 is the only number of projects you should ever have, because going at one time, but because 3 seems like a reasonable number, right? In these 3 different shapes. You can get either the cats or the sheep or the llama. But I was so thrilled to see this little tool. I mean, I'm still amazed at the creativity and the problem solving that people are doing. Just when you think you have every tool you possibly could need, you find one more little tool. So we've got plenty of these in the shop for your tail winding needs. How about that? Then the big thing is this. Some of you have done temperature blankets. This is a little sample of Madeline Tosh's new mood blanket kit. So every color in this represents a mood. And when you purchase the kit, I want to show you the full kit. You get this wonderful clear plastic bag so that you can see everything. And you get 12 different colors of Madeline Tosh vintage. We were only able to snag 4 of these kits. So we've got 4 for the first 4 people that want to dive into this. So the Madeline Tosh vintage is 100% merino wool that's been dyed by Madeline Tosh in all of these really wonderful colorways. Every kit is the same, has the same colors in it. Look at that green. Isn't it beautiful?
They have one of my favorite colors in there.
They do. And this is what the sample, the Afghan will look, what it will look like. You get a pattern, let me put this down, that gives you directions for both a knit blanket or a crochet blanket. You get enough yarn in the kit to only make one. You can make one knit or one crochet, but it tells you that you are to do 2 rows in a color, and you are supposed to pick the color that closely corresponds to the mood you might feel. Can you see this, Kate, or is it too shiny?
Oh, you can see it. It's very shiny.
So what you're supposed to do is wind up the yarn, put the yarn in a little plastic, Ziploc bag, and then put the sticker on the bag so that you know that color always is, I love some of these emotions, up to no good, triggered, hangry, which is most of the time, stressy, booked and busy, totally chill, nah.
That was the color I loved.
Sleepy, inspired, silly, feeling the love, and on cloud 9. So those are the emotions that they've chosen. And they only want you to do 2 rows a day. And the directions actually say, knit 2 rows per day in the corresponding color to your mood. It will give you approximately 300 rows, and it should take you 5 months to do it. And your Afghan will measure about 60 inches long. So you can do that. You can follow the rules. You can say, oh, the heck with it. I am just going to knit away until I have created the size blanket that I want to, but I think it's kind of fun. It's their little answer to the temperature blanket. The crochet instructions are the same thing. Crochet 1 row per day, and it will give you 106 rows in 3.5 months, and you'll be done. But it is fun, and it's on a size 8 needle. The actual stitch is a basic feather and fan, so it is not that difficult. And then it self fringes. You're supposed to leave 5 inches of yarn as you connect and unconnect the yarns, so that you end up with ends at the side, at one side, that you can knot together to turn into fringe.
I love that.
This yarn feels fantastic. If you have not worked with Madeline Tosh Vintage, this is a real treat yarn. I really like this yarn a lot. So like I said, we got 4 of those kits. They are live on the website. You can order them on the website and we'll hold it for you, or you can have us mail it to you, but we only have 4. So take a look at them and come on in. We'll have the sample here that you can see and feel, and the directions that you can look at and see if you want to play along with the rest of the Madeline Tosh world. I'm going to talk about the new yarns that we got in next week, because they're coming fast and furious, and it will take me all day to go through it all. But I wanted to show you one of the other things that I made. How's our time, Kate?
We are at 24 minutes.
Oh, cool. I have just enough time. Oh, one other quick thing. If you haven't heard already, Knitter's Pride is changing name to Knit Pro. So they're changing the packaging and the name, but they're still the same kind of manufacturer. So we got in new cords for the Knitter's Pride, but now they come packaged as Knit Pro. They still all work the same, but you're going to eventually see all of this packaging gone, and they're going towards a more ecological, eco-friendly cardboard rather than the plastic covers. So be aware of that. It's not a new company. It's just they're trying to change the brand so that it is a worldwide brand. Because in Europe it was Knit Pro, here it was Knitter's Pride. That's just a quick little note. I started this little slipper pattern. It is based on a Turkish design, and one of the people that I follow talked about how she was visiting some Turkish friends, and they were knitting these slippers, and she wrote down step by step what they were doing so that she could make them. I kind of fell in love with them and knit one. This is the pattern. Knit one of them, and as I was making it, I fell even deeper in love. It's done on a size 2 needle, and I used the Plymouth Baby Alpaca Sport. It is a delicate yarn, and it feels very, very soft and has the warmth that you need. It is an EC yarn, which means that it's easy care. That's what EC means. You can machine wash this in cold water and then lay it flat to dry. The slipper is basically done flat with this fancy lace work that you do at first. And then you go all the way around the top, and then you're picking up stitches around that flap and then knitting it back and forth. And I was saying to Kate, this little piece gave me chills because I felt like this piece is something you would make for a bride, something delicate and special that she might wear for 10 minutes. But also, you might make this for someone who's in the hospital and needs to keep their feet warm. Somebody in a wheelchair who isn't going to be walking on it, but would love that warm feeling around their foot. They could also be used as bed slippers, although you might have a hard time keeping them on just because they are really slippery. If you do make a slipper for anybody, make them smaller than you think. Both Kate and I, Kate wears a size 9, I wear a size 10. Both of us fit very comfortably into this slipper. Probably me more than Kate because my feet are a little bit bigger. And because it's knit, it really stretches to fit. So if you make them smaller than you think you need, they'll have a better chance of staying on. I just wanted to show you guys it because I think it's such a treasure. I got chills making this, thinking about how special this would be, especially for somebody who's bedridden and needs to be in bed for a while. Just a wonderful gift for keeping their feet warm and cozy.
Oh, looks like the blue earrings are spoken for.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. One last really quick thing. Because we've gotten some of the new yarns coming in addition to moving the furniture around, we are changing all of our stock around. So one of the things to look for when you come in is we've got a lot of the cotton on sale, including the cotton that I used for this and that Kate used for her orange one, which now she can't find.
I see it right now. I see it right now. It's the best thing I've ever made.
So it's perfect for this time of year when the morning is cool and the evening cools down quickly as soon as that sun goes down. Just enough around your neck and shoulders to give you that little bit of extra warmth. Well, this size only took 2 skeins. And we've put on sale 4 of the cottons that you can use specifically for this pattern. This is one of my designs, and we give you the pattern for free. Some of you have made this and have been sharing the photographs of them when they're completed, and I really appreciate that. So something to think about, one more little sale thing to end the summer with. So that is it. I actually got everything in my notes covered today, and we'll be here Wednesday through Saturday again, and Monday is Labor Day, but I will be here in the shop and probably open for a while anyway, if you need to get in. In the meantime, You have, what was it, 27, I think, days until fall officially begins. So you have plenty of time for those small projects still in summer. So go knit something. Bye.